Today, I want to take this time to welcome an exceptional talent in studio. Her name is Chantal, and she's as bright as her smile. Chantal is the brain behind online business marketing. And if you're in business and you are not taking the time to understand online marketing, believe me, you're back in the stone age, because online marketing helps you to get in contact with billions of people from around the world. And Chantal will help us to understand so much more about online marketing that can really set you up for success. Chantal, I must say, it's such a pleasure to be talking with you today.
Thank you so much for having me here.
And I love that beautiful smile of yours.
Thanks so much.
So, Chantal, I'm seeing that you are no novice to the world of business. You have been in business for over 28 years. Can we talk a little bit about what actually inspired you to get into business in the first place?
Yeah, sure, 100%. So I'm originally from South Africa, so you're going to hear this really mixture of an accent because Australian, South African. I've been in Australia now for the last 16 years. And when I was in South Africa, I was actually into fitness. I was a triathlete. I owned health, wellness and fitness centers. And it's really easy to get clients when you live in a place where your family have grown up, your mom, your dad, you've gone to school, you've got all your school friends, there's word of mouth referrals. So getting clients and getting customers is so super easy, when you live in a country that you've grown up in. And that's what I did in South Africa. I was absolutely loved fitness. I loved health, wellness and fitness. And I just wanted to be able to educate people and inspire them to be healthier and fitter. So I had a very successful business there. And that was my first touch of being a business owner. But online marketing was not even a thing. It was just all word of mouth referrals. However, when I moved to Australia 16 years ago now, I came here with my husband at the time. I had 3 daughters under the age of 5 years old. So my identical twin girls were 4 years old. My baby was 1 year old. And we got an opportunity to move to the country. And my husband was going to work. I was going to stay home like a good wife and look after the children. And we're paying our way into the country. And we had no family here, no financial support, no welfare, because you're still paying your way into the country, all the expenses of moving over. And all of a sudden you're here and it's like, okay. And then besides all of that, he then lost his job twice in the first 4 years. So it was a case of, do we carry on paying our way into Australia? Do we just make it work here? Or do we go back to South Africa? And of course, we wanted to stay. We're already quite embedded here. It was about 4 years in. And so I thought, well, how am I going to grow my fitness business here on the Gold Coast? Saturated marketplace. Everyone knows everyone. The Gold Coast is a completely different culture here compared to what I'm used to in South Africa. No one knows who I am. I'm not a complete stranger to everyone. And the only way that I could do that was to learn how to do online marketing. And when I did online marketing, I couldn't afford for it not to work. Whenever, I Googled or was researching or listened to people, they'd go, post consistently, do lives every day. And I was like, well, post what? Do lives about what? And they say, give away all your content for free. And I'm going, that's what I'm doing. I'm spending my life on here, giving away stuff online. And it's not getting me any clients. Like, I can't, I have to look after these 3 children. I can't afford for what I'm doing not to work. It does have to work. So I started just doing a little bit of research. And I think the necessity of not having welfare, needing to make money, made me work backwards and go, you know what, whatever I do, it has to be strategic. So I don't spend a lot of time on live. It doesn't cost me a lot of money. And whatever it does, it has to make me money so that I can pay the rent and feed the kids. And that's really what happened. So in the first 5 years I went on, Facebook was my primary platform when I first started, that and Google My Business. Since then I've expanded into YouTube and Instagram and Pinterest. And for me, I didn't have money to outsource this to virtual assistants. I didn't have money to pay a marketing agency to do it. And I didn't have money to gamble on ads. So I went, you know what, I'm investing in myself, my knowledge to be able to get this stuff right. And within 5 years, I grew a 6-figure health, wellness and fitness business on the Gold Coast in a saturated industry with no financial support, no understanding of what I was doing at all. And when I had my health, wellness and fitness center, I thought, great, everyone can pay me money. Like all the subcontractors can pay me money. all the other business owners that share the space, and we'll all refer to each other and we'll live happily ever after. But every week came by and they couldn't get clients. They couldn't get clients, so they couldn't pay me rent. So I was like, now I'm back in square one again. I've got the overheads of this health, wellness, and fitness center. They can't pay me because they've got no clients. So I started to run these workshops. I started to run these workshops called health, wellness, and fitness meetups. And eventually on the Gold Coast, everybody heard about this woman that was teaching them how to use social media and how to do online marketing and how to manage your own marketing without paying for ads. And eventually it wasn't just the health, wellness, and fitness industry. It was all other industries coming to me in my gym. They were coming to me, lawyers, accountants, all different other industries, and saying to me, how the hell do you do it? And I said, if I can learn how, you can learn how, and I'll show you how. I'll teach your VAs how to. Yeah.
Awesome.
Pitch Deck 101 LLC, powering the next generation of unicorns. At Pitch Deck 101 LLC, we specialize in market research, brand innovation, market integration, and client conversion optimization. Our team of experts is dedicated to providing the strategic insights and innovative solutions needed to accelerate growth and unlock your company's full potential. Whether you're a startup looking to attract investors and your ideal clients, or an established business ready for market expansion, we're here to guide you every step of the way. Let Pitch Deck 101 LLC fuel your journey to exceptional business success. Contact us now for a free consultation on how we can position your business to become a unicorn.
I can feel your passion behind what you do. And I noticed from what you're saying that one of your number one motivators was the fact that you had 3 kids and, you cannot go to your kids with a sad story. So you were highly motivated to get out there, cash flow optimize, and to cash flow optimize fast. And, you had to work all the magic to make sure it happened. What I'm so happy about is that through all the storm, you figure out how to build a successful 6-figure business. And you're now on your way to build it up to that 7, 8, and 9-figure brand. We're going to talk some more about that. But I want us to do a little deep dive into a couple of things. One I want to say is that you started off online marketing from research. You did the research and you leveraged that data and you was able to do something great. But beyond that, you went and you do some of the heavy lifting. You did the study. You got a diploma in business and social media management. And let us talk about what the experience was like for you, transforming from the research-based and business-oriented person into this academic studies. And what was that whole experience like for you? And from there, I want us to go deep into what does the platform looks like, the ecosystem of online or social media management is all about. So let's begin with the first concept. What was it like for you to transition from just a research-based entrepreneur into an academic-based entrepreneur?
Yeah, sure. So the research part of it, well, firstly, like you said, the kids were a great motivator. I had to have it work. So the definition of insanity is doing the same thing every day, expecting a different result. So waking up every day and doing Facebook Lives and giving away content and doing all these things every single day and it doesn't work. I couldn't afford to carry on doing that. So I realized that you've got to look at the data and you've got to change something. You've got to get off that hamster wheel. And unfortunately, what happens in the online space is people just doing the same thing every single day online and it's not working and they're not changing anything. So for me, I think the great motivator was like, hold on, this is not working, test and trial it for a month. But if it's not working, I'm going to change something. So, have a look at your data, make sure that you're looking at your insights, you're reviewing what you're doing, go, what is working, what is not working. And at the end of the day, I always say to people, and maybe it's because of my story, but I always say to people, engagement and followers is just ego metrics. The only true teller of if it is working is if you're generating clients from it. And that is an income producing strategy that you have right there. And that is what I'm absolutely passionate about helping business do, is actually create content that converts. So for me, that was, really good. And the other thing I want to say is I didn't like it. Okay. And I think as a business owner, it doesn't really matter if you don't like it. If you want to have a successful business, you cannot get away from the fact that, that you're going to have to get clients. And nowadays, getting clients online is something that you have to do. So it doesn't matter if I liked it or didn't like it. I'm a hyperactive person by nature. Sitting in front of a computer doing online stuff is not in my wheelhouse. So I also say to people, get used to doing the stuff that you don't like, but get excited by the results that you get. Because when it starts getting you results, that's when you'll start to like it, when you'll start to appreciate it. And that's also the difference between working smart or working hard. So the third aspect of that, I think, and probably the biggest thing that I struggled with was probably mindset. Because when I transitioned from being a personal trainer and a health, wellness, and fitness business owner, and I started getting into the marketing coaching side of things, I had a whole lot of naysayers who went, you can't do that. What do you know about marketing? And I probably stalled for about 2 years because I thought, who am I? Who am I, this person who's done this? And now I'm trying to help these people. And, and I had to do quite a lot of mindset work around that to go, you know what? As long as you know more than the person that you're talking to, and as long as they're prepared to pay you, you're an expert. And once I got over that hurdle and I went, fine, those are the people that I just need to find and speak to. I do have a space in this, but also I need to build up my confidence, because if I'm going to charge people for this, I want to make sure that it's not just my experience in building my health, wellness, and fitness. I want to be able to help all these other industries here that are relying on me and putting their trust in me. So as a responsible business owner and as a responsible coach, I owe them to go and get my qualifications. And that's why I got my diploma in social media marketing, and I got my business diploma as well.
But tell me something, getting that diploma in business and social media management, did it help you in any way?
It helped. The answer is yes and no, but not for what you think. It helped me because it gave me confidence and it gave me credibility. It also showed me that I could do it, because I actually had to do it at nighttime. So I was studying online. Like when I put the kids to sleep at night, I would be studying 8, 9, 10 o'clock at nighttime after, working insane days, because the gym is like 5 o'clock in the morning until like 8 o'clock at night. And I was doing marketing coaching in between. So I had 2 businesses going. So I was studying at nighttime as well. So it gave me confidence in my ability. It gave me credibility in the space. I'm glad that I had learned it myself beforehand, because I don't think I would have been able to have passed if I hadn't gone and learned some stuff beforehand, because it was, it was sort of quite intense.
One of the reasons I asked that question, if it helped, because in the social media space, in the technological world, you find that changes are taking place rapidly. By the time you say ABC, a new change has already been implemented. And what I find happens is sometimes the classroom is not keeping up with the rapid change that is taking place in the real world. Now that you have answered that question, you have mentioned some very important concepts. It's not about the amount of subscribers you get, is the amount of subscribers you get that you're able to convert into highly motivated paying clients. And that seems to be your number one focus. And listening to your story, I recognize that you have cracked the code, because you had to figure things out and you had to figure out how to start to cash flow your business very fast. Can we talk a little bit about your formula in terms of leveraging social media as a means to connect with the ideal client, build that relationship with the ideal client, and then move to that point to cash flow optimize? Because for many persons who are attempting to do this, it is not as easy as 1, 2, 3. It's not as easy as you would want to say it. I mean, you have learned the smart way, and I am quite certain that you have some hacks that can help those out there to figure things out.
Sure, I'm going to give it all away for free. And I will. So literally, get your pen and paper out, because this is exactly what I did, and this is exactly what I teach. And if you go do this, you'll get results. So I work backwards. So I start with the strategy and I go, how much money do you want to make? Okay. So for me, it was really easy. How much is my rent? How much do I have to feed my children? How much money do I have to make? Right. And work out how much, for in Australia, we do it per week. In South Africa, we did it per month, but just work that amount out. And then I got to know myself and I went, what is my juice and my glitter? The thing that I'm absolutely so passionate about, I can talk about so much about, I absolutely love doing it. It satisfies my soul. And when I talk to people about it, they get lit up by what I'm saying, because that way then you can start putting together that as an offer. And then you go and you do a competitors analysis and you go, who else is doing this in this space? So for me at that time, it was personal training. So I went, right, go look at all the other personal trainers on the Gold Coast. They're your fitness model. models, they've got Botox, big boobs, blonde hair, sports models or whatever. That ain't me. I'm completely different. It didn't dampen me. I just knew that I was different, but I knew that there would be a different market for me based on that. And then, so I look at my point of difference. I do a competitors analysis, my point of difference. I know who I am, and I put together an offer, something that is desirable that I like to do, but is desirable that someone will pay me for it. Oh, sorry, Gary, I can't hear you.
You were doing all of this before you got your diploma.
Yes.
My God, I want to give you flowers. I want to give you kudos, because what you're talking about, there is some deep stuff in marketing. You research the market, you assess strengths and weaknesses in the market, you identify gaps in the market, and then you position yourself to capitalize on those gaps. And that is some genius move. But let me hear you. Let me hear you. Go on.
Thank you. Yes, 100%. So then from there, it was a case, then you put together the desirable offer and put together one. Drives me nuts. And I think, again, I couldn't have this fail. Put together one offer, because that way you can test it and trial it. The amount of people that are so close to success, and when something doesn't work, they just go flip the whole thing on its head and start again, as opposed to tweaking the one part in the system that's not working. So please, it's really important that if you've come up with your desirable offer and something's not working, and you come up with your content plan, don't go and flip and change your business name and change your message. Don't change everything all at once, because you can't actually find where the hole was. And it might just be one little thing where there was a disconnect, one little hole in the hose. And I see a lot of people doing that.
Yeah. You know what I love about you and what you're saying? Just do one. And I want to join you and talk just a little bit about that. And we have developed a concept that we call the minimum viable offer, the MVO. And we look at the MVO from three different standpoints. The MVO represents the one that you're talking about. Some people go to the market, and instead of looking at the minimum viable offer to go to market with, they look at the maximum, meaning that they're going to market with 2, 3, 4 different things. Not taking into consideration that to do that is going to be more human resource, more technical resources, and more capital resources to move that process forward. I'm saying this because there is tremendous substance in what you're saying. When you focus on one, you can only expand in that one. And expanding in that one really helps you to zero in on who is the ideal clients, what are their needs, what are their pain points, and how can I best innovate. It gives you more time to focus your energy where it ought to be focused. So you're not depleting yourself in terms of your mental capability. You're not depleting yourself in terms of financial resources and all the other resources to optimize your success. I had to say that because very, very profound what you're saying. So don't let me stop you anymore. Just go on. Let me hear you.
So we're still working backwards. Awesome. Thank you so much. Such good points. So once we have that desirable offer, so you enjoy delivering it and you've researched it and you know that it's desirable, so somebody's happy to pay for it as well. We then go and do a stalk, and we stalk the type of people now. We stalk the people that are going to be interested in that product, and we really get to know their likes, their dislikes, their aspirations, their pain points, and what they're really struggling with. And when I say that, I don't mean just the words saying they are stressed, they are overwhelmed. It's more about they wake up every day and struggle to get out of bed because they're unmotivated.
But that's a difficult task to accomplish. I mean, to really find the ideal client and to really build out that database in terms of their pain points, their needs, wants, and expectations. So I guess at this stage, are you still working alone, or do you have a team of persons that you're going to market with, that you're asking the right question, getting the feedback, documenting that feedback, and then using that database to make informed and educated decisions? How are you collecting that data to be able to leverage it into smart business decision making?
Look, it's different to where I am right now to if you're starting out. If you're starting out, you're going to have to go out, you're going to have to do market research, you're going to have to speak to people. And I always say, work with your ideal clients for free. A lot of people don't believe in that. But I did that in South Africa when I grew my first business. I did that in Australia when I did that. And I went and I got good results and I worked free and I used that data. So if you're starting out, that's what I would do, because you've now got case studies, you've now got testimonials, and you're developing confidence in what it is that you're doing. So I promote that. However, if you are established business, it's easy because you can go and I always just say, listen to your clients, because they'll tell you your good clients will be talking to you all the time, talking about what they're struggling with and how you've helped them. And I always say, write it down, everything they say. If they say, oh my gosh, I was able to take the first holiday I've had in the last year, just because my online marketing is all automated. I'll write that whole sentence down,
I love that. But
Gary Thompson, the sales communication professional, best-selling author and private equity investor, says, master the client conversion ladder and optimize your business success. He continues, many rising stars in business try to get from A to Z in a split second in the client conversion journey. That approach will set you up for frustration, time, money, and effort being wasted. The alphabet has 26 letters. Each letter has great significance in words formation and in human expression. The client conversion process has many steps, and when these steps are overlooked, it negatively influences your ability to attract and communicate with the ideal client. You must invest in breaking through the know, like, and trust barriers that allow you to win in business. He went on to say, the first step in your client conversion journey begins with relationships. 1. Fill the relationship gaps. 2. Leverage relationships to overcome client rejection. 3. And position your brand to stand out in the market. Gary wants you to be successful and invites you to call us today to help you master the client conversion ladder, optimize your brand recognition, and increase the cash flow of your business.
correct me if I'm wrong, what I've taken away from what you just said, one of the methods that you use to collect the information is that you make a value offer, no cost attached to it. And as person comes in and persons respond to that value offer, you use that as your springboard to collect the information as to who are those persons that are responding. And after they would have built up a knowing and a liking and a trust for what you're doing, you then upsell, which is where the cash flow comes from. Am I correct?
Yeah, that if you're starting out 100%, that would be the way to go.
Brilliant. That's a brilliant move. I mean, that's a tremendous hack. And you're right. Some people, when you say make an offer for free, they say, no, I'm too talented, I'm too smart, I'm too gifted to give away my talent for free. But it's not for free, because the reality is if you had to pay to increase your visibility, there's a cost attached to that. But I also know that you have a hack for that too, because I know you talk a lot about how to increase visibility using social media without investing a whole lot into advertising. Can we talk a little bit about your strategy around that?
Yeah, sure. So if we're still going back in the overall strategy and we go, right, now we've got our offer, we've gone through now, we know who our ideal client is, we've gone and we've stalked them, we've got the data, we know who they are, we understand them 100%, properly, like we know who they are and we know how to talk to them. Now we go and we look at our channels and we go, where are these people on the channels? So it drives me nuts when people go, oh, you must go onto TikTok and work on TikTok. When, say, for example, if your demographic's older and depending on what industry you're in, they're not going to be finding you on TikTok because that's an entertainment platform versus an edutainment platform. So it's about looking at the platforms and going, it's not the platform that you like, it's the platform that your customers are on and they go on, they frequent often. So for example, like Facebook, they check 8 times a day. LinkedIn, they check 3 times a week. So you have to have a look at and know where they are, check at the frequency of when they're actually going to be on there to increase your visibility. And then you've got to create content that cuts through. And content that cuts through for me is connection. It's about connecting them. So that stalking them is so incredibly important, because if you just say, are you stressed and overwhelmed with your online marketing versus you get up every single day knowing that you've got to create content online, and every time you do it doesn't result in paying clients, and all you see is your bills stacking up, and you're not generating any more sales, and it's keeping you up at night. When you story tell and you connect and you show them that you know them, that will cut through, because they'll go, that is me. So we use things like scroll stoppable headlines, we use connection points, throw in convinces and credibility to prove yourself and your modality so that they can trust in you to spend money with you. And then we look at the call to actions at the end. And that's what we do when it comes to our content. And I've got 21 content ideas that I believe everyone should be posting on an ongoing basis and cycling through, that I believe that does that job.
Interesting. So you have started started a business over 28 years ago, and that business is titled Online Business Marketing and OBM Hub. Can you talk to us to help the public to understand when one comes to online marketing and OBM Hub, what are the services that one can expect to get from you?
Sure, thank you. Online business marketing is they get to work one-on-one with me as a consultant, and this is in this day and age, it's rare. Everybody's throwing everybody into group programs. So for me, whether or not you're service-based or e-commerce based, we actually work one-on-one, and it's either 8 weeks, 5 months, or over a year, depending on your learning style, because business owners' learning style and how busy they are changes as well. And I work with you, and I work with your managers, so your marketing managers and your virtual assistants. I work with a lot of wives because they get given the job of you run the marketing. And then I go in and I formulate that entire strategy, and we look at income producing funnels, strategies, automations, or processes to get people in. So for example, for a service-based business, maybe you'd be looking at a webinar funnel to generate leads in. For an e-commerce business, maybe you'd be looking at a competition funnel to be pulling leads in. And then it's about automating those nurture sequences when they come into the business, so we can build that know, like, and trust. We can connect, we can convince, and we can convert. And that's what we look at doing. So as a one-on-one trainer, that's what I do as a consultant. I work with you and your team to be able to do that, set it all up, and then I teach you to manage it.
I love that. I really, really love that. So one of the areas that your business really specializes in is online marketing. I want you to talk to me a little bit about something that is relevant to online marketing, but I find that most business may not necessarily look at this. One of the things that I've learned about social media management, social media marketing, is that it has so many pluses to it. One, you are able to gain visibility fast when you know what you're doing with a very low budget. But I think the other beauty about social media is that when you know what you're doing, you're also able to leverage social media as a means of generating multiple streams of income. Because when you convert, it's a source of income, but you can build quality content, and by attracting an audience base, many of the social media platforms, there's a concept that we call the AdSense. You can also monetize that process. So there's a lot of win-win involved in that. But I wanted us to go a little deeper into social media and marketing, social media management. From your experience, a new business is starting and they're coming to you. How long would it take you to get that brand to that point of monetization?
Oh, how long is a piece of string? So I always say to people, it depends how much know, like, and trust you've got online and how big your network is, even offline. Because obviously onto social media, you're going to be leveraging some of your offline, you're going to be befriending and getting people to like your page. But if you've literally come out and you've never been online, and you don't have a massive, you don't have networking friends or partnerships or people that you collaborate with, or you haven't been running events, it really does depend on your offline circle as much as your online circle. But a lot of the time with an e-commerce business, if I'm helping them launch, I've just helped a caravan mattress topper business launch, and I've just helped a plastic-free children's pajamas company launch, and they didn't have any social media at all, absolutely none. So we had to go on. They wanted to engage my services when they were launching, and I said to them, when you're launching and you've got the product, who are you going to launch to? You've got no one on your social media platform at all. I said, we've got to start working together at least 3 to 4 months beforehand. Go online. We've got to find those people, build know, like, and trust, pull them onto your profiles. But more importantly, and this is one of the most important things, you've got to get them off social media and you've got to get them into your emails, because you do not own that lead if it's on social media, because if they cut it down, you're done. So you have got to get the email address, and that's how we work. So the pajama company, we've been working together now for I think 8 weeks. 8 weeks we've been working together. They've got 70 people, but they are 70 qualified leads in their database now that they can launch to, and we're not finished yet, but that they can launch to. And we did that through a pre-launch strategy, through partnership strategy, through competitions. You cannot just go in and just start creating content. You've got to go out, find your people, and point them to you and get them to pay attention to you. you. So it's definitely twofold. You've got to be on the platforms and you've got to position yourself correctly and set them up correctly and look good to attract the right people and train the algorithm. But the second part, and this is the part that people don't do, is they do not go out and find the ideal people and bring them in. And partnership, collaborations, joint ventures, heaps. They are massive proactive strategies that can help.
You're perfectly correct. I do believe that many rising stars in business, they don't take enough time to understand the power of networking, the power of collaboration. That definitely could be a springboard for success. But I want to talk about something that you've mentioned, because networking and partnership comes in so many different forms. There's a concept that we call influencer marketing. And even in cases when you don't have a strong social media presence, to connect with a social media influencer, to connect with an influencer that can endorse your brand, it plays a tremendous role in accelerating your know, like, and trust. It plays a tremendous role in bringing you through the curve of building confidence, trust, and credibility and getting to that point of cash flow optimization. What is your thought on social media influencers? And is this part of your ecosystem in terms of how you help businesses to break through that know, like, and trust factors?
Yeah, look, I have helped many businesses that I've worked with, identify key influencers that they can work with. There's a lot of sort of stigma around some of the stuff that happens. So at the end of the day, all I can say with regards to that is make sure that you've got a tight contract, because so many people have given items, products to the influencers and have not had what they had promised delivered back, unfortunately. And they've paid them, they've given them products, and they actually haven't tagged them, hashtagged them, added them. So whatever you're going to do your research. I always say be careful who you get into bed with, because you might get a rash. So you just want to make sure that you've gone out, you've checked them, that your values are aligned. And I actually prefer partnerships, because because an influencer, it's a partnership, it's a win-win for you and me. But I always say have a contract in place that says my responsibility is this to you and your responsibility is this. And if you don't hashtag, tag, promote, post, connect, or do your side of the gig, well, then there's a financial, payment that goes towards it. Because unfortunately, there's a lot of it in the marketplace where people aren't living up to what they've said.
Well, you have said a lot there, and you're so correct with what you're saying. I have been in spaces where they're persons without a doubt, they are considered to be influencers because they have 10,000 followers, they have 100,000 followers, they have 500,000 followers. But when I am engaging with some of those folks and I start to dig deep into their processes and their systems, I recognize that they were just lucky to attract that type of audience, but they don't have any repeatable processes. So I'm saying this against the backdrop that if you're to go to them and say, hey, this is what I want you to do for me, they don't have a repeatable process. So not having a repeatable processes means that they may not necessarily be able to help you. The other thing that I'm seeing is that they have an audience base, but they don't understand the audience base. Because to understand those audience base, you need to know them based on demographic data. You need to understand them based on psychographic data. You need to understand them based on geographic data. And there's a lot of deep work and analysis that has to be done in those regards. And I'm saying this because if you're with an influencer and they cannot clearly define their demographic, the possibility exists that when you put your value offer there, it is not relevant to their clientele base, but they don't know and you don't know. So doing that due diligence is so important. I want to talk a little bit about habits, because I'm quite certain that you didn't get to this point. I want to talk a little bit about what habits you had to learn, you had to apply, you had to master to be the person that you are today.
I think that coming from a single mum with 4 kids, she always worked, so we had to kind of look after ourselves. We had to be pretty organized, and coming from a country like South Africa as well, you've got to be pretty disciplined when it comes to things. And I think our work ethic in South Africa is quite a lot, because there isn't a lot of welfare or things like there is here in Australia. So I think I might have adopted some of those characteristics, when I was younger. And And then becoming a triathlete, you've got to be very organized and very disciplined because you've got 3 different disciplines to learn. So I think self-motivation and discipline is really important. But when I moved, then I had twins. So that was, again, monitoring 2 little babies at the same time. And, I would always keep a record of who was doing what. So I knew what was going on with each of them because they looked the same as babies. So I feel like I've had quite a few hits of you need self-motivation, discipline, and everything else. But, they say if you want something done, ask a busy person. And people always are amazed by how much I can get done. And I'm going to attribute it to the habit of, firstly, always health, wellness, and fitness. Taking care of yourself, that is always a primary thing. Health, wellness, and fitness. So mindset, all of that, there is always space for that in my day, every single day, and non-negotiable habits, because of truly successful people value and appreciate that. So that for me has always been a consistent thing. And then the other thing is time management and time blocking. If you do not hold your diary as king, if it's not in your diary, it's not going to happen. That's what I always say to people. So if you're not putting in your diary, it's not happening. So if, people say my marketing's not working, I go, show me in your diary where you're working on your marketing. They go, no, it's not in my diary. And I go, well, then you're not doing it. But if it's in your diary, you'll do it. So for me, some of the habits, I always wake up every single day. There is always health, wellness, and fitness practices that happen in the morning, all the time, being outdoors. It is absolutely fundamental. And I prioritize that development in myself, investment in myself. And then, as I said, time management and time blocking, definitely.
You mentioned mindset early on in the conversation, and I didn't press you on it at all. But I want us to talk about it briefly because you mentioned mindset, and I know that mindset is so profound to the ecosystem of success. But I find that the majority of the people in the world who want to be successful in business and in life, they just don't have the right mindset. Let me ask you, what do you think is the right mindset that people should have when they want to be success, and what habits can get you there faster?
Sure. Look, I think self-awareness is the most important thing. Okay. So like we spoke about earlier, waking up every day, doing exactly the same thing and not getting a result, you're not aware, right? You're not aware of yourself, because if you were aware, you'd stop yourself and go, hold on, this isn't working. I need to do something else. So self-awareness is really, really important, and checking in with yourself is super important. The other thing is understanding that the mindset that got you here and the level of thinking that got you here is not going to get you to the next stage. There is stuff that you have to learn and do and get uncomfortable with if you want to level up and go to the next space. So for me, it's a case
that go up to.
Yeah. So then for me, it's a case of, well, go and have a look at what, some of the mindsets or habits of those that are achieving stuff. And those are the things that I need to learn. So for me, it was really clear when I had this awareness, and I'll just use the example of when I was transitioning from the fitness business into the marketing business, going, oh, I can't do it. So I was self-sabotaging, I was procrastinating, I was listening to everybody else, and, my belief systems weren't good. But I had to be aware of all of that and go, you know what, I need to work on all of that, and I need to reframe things, build my level of confidence, reframe things, get help, get a coach, get somebody else, read a book. We've got no excuses now. Use ChatGPT. We've got no excuses. And then acquire those new skills so that the new level of thinking can help you cope and go to the next level.
Well, I'm really happy that you're digging in deep into mindset, because one of the things I would often say is that people can never grow beyond their sense of self. You're right where you are right here, right now, because of your sense of self. But if you just fix this, you're going to get different results by simply fixing this. And I do believe, I agree with you. I do believe that a lot of work has to be done on helping the individual to find 3 things: a strong sense of self, a strong sense of purpose, and a strong sense of direction. And I do believe that once we can help people to become anchored in this, I do believe that they're going to blossom as a flower in their social life, in their personal life, and in their business life. So that's a major part of growth and development that I find very often is pushed to the sideline because of personal things. These softer issues, I believe, is looked upon as being trivial, but it's not, because I've seen very exceptional talent, master's degree, doctorate, but then they have a poor sense of self. The mindset is not right. So when you put them in a position of leadership, because of the mindset, they're not able to apply themselves. So when you say, hey, we're building a multi-million-dollar operation or a multi-billion-dollar operation, corporation to say, sir, do you think I can do that? Mindset. So
Yeah,
I love that
100%.
you're talking about that. Now, we're still on habits. What money habits, and we are about to wrap up, what money habits do you think is essential for people to have in business and in life?
Sure, 100%. So for money, I mean, look, again, because I had a lot of money in South Africa. I mean, not a lot, but we kind of set up, had houses, cars, everything, sold it all, came here and had absolutely nothing. So tracking your money is really important, So I did things like, the Barefoot Investor, where you've got your different buckets of money. But it comes down to, again, just tracking and awareness of how much you're actually spending, what your actual income and expenses are. Because, that is true. That is knowledge, and that you can control, and you can cut back, or you can realize you've got to make more. But really understanding your money and keeping track of it, for me, is just, those are just such great habits. Putting money away for GST, for tax, it's absolutely super important to be able to do that. And just not understanding and knowing your figures, knowing how much you need, when and where, so that you have confidence in it.
Well, I must say it has been a lot of fun talking with you today, and I want to give you the last ball to bounce. Is there anything that you want to say that I might not have asked you? I want to give you a chance to take the floor and just say it. All to you.
Yeah, thanks so much. Yeah, you did mention earlier on that I have a second business, which is called OBM Hub, and it is an all-in-one marketing platform. And the reason we created it is because when people were trying to create lead generation funnels, or trying to get emails off of social media, and they needed land pages and lead magnets and email marketing, and even for running ads or scheduling their social media, logging in and out of multiple platforms became an absolute issue. So we created this all-in-one marketing platform, which we use for our clients, which just makes it so much easier, because your team and you can just log into one thing, remember one passcode, manage absolutely everything, and come out. And it's so easy for somebody like me who's non-techie. So that was my second business, and how that fit into it. And the lesson for everyone in that one is that my first business, online business marketing, I'm the consultant, I'm the personal brand. But for a scalable model, that's not really clever, because at some point I'm going to get old and I'm going to want to retire. Won't be too soon, but at some point I may, which makes it very difficult to sell. So therefore, it's really important that you always look at having a business that's not based on your personal brand, but is a subscription-based business, so that you have reoccurring income. So I just wanted to explain the strategy around that, because that way it's like, that's what she's doing. Maybe I can do that in my own business.
Well, I'm happy that you acknowledge that you have a lot of fire in you. You have nowhere to go anytime soon. Because I'm looking forward to have so much more of these conversations with you, to pick your brain on all
Love
the
it.
great hack strategies that you're using to grow your brand and to help so many persons out of Australia and around the world. Chantal, I must say, it has been a pleasure talking with you, and I'm looking forward to doing this with you in the very near future.
Yeah, I'd love to. Thank you so much.
The pleasure is all mine.
Elevate your business with 10X Branding and Marketing LLC. Our expert team specializes in enhancing your brand's visibility and connecting you with your ideal clients. We employ strategies that increase reach, leaving a lasting impact and driving client conversion. Trust and credibility are vital in businesses, and excel in building them even with a limited budget. Our cost-effective approaches ensure you get the best results without overspending. Ready to boost your business cash flow? Contact us at 332-235-T99 and let 10X Branding and Marketing LLC guide you to success. Our focus is on elevating your visibility, which directly translates to growth. Experience the power of effective branding and marketing with us, and witness your business thrive.